Most founders sound exactly like the competition. If you want to be competitive in a crowded market, you can't just be better, you have to be different. I'm your host, Cameron Olds.
And I'm Dallin Merrill, and we're here to talk about how you can avoid being mistaken for your competition, differentiate your brand, and ultimately create a lasting competitive advantage for yourself in the market.
Welcome to Differentiate or Die. This episode of Differentiate or Die is brought to you by MessageOS. And by brought to you by, we mean written by.
If your team describes your product 10 different ways, your product is no longer differentiated. It's confusing, and so are your customers.
MessageOS helps big teams keep every sales deck, social caption, and support reply on message and on brand.
Clear, consistent, differentiated. Every time someone talks about you.
See how it works at protagonistcomms.co.
Darryl Merrill, how important is real-time collaboration to you?
Oh, are you talking Figma?
Jeez. Yes.
Cameron. Oh, way too easy,
dude,
Cameron.
That could have been so many different things. That could have been Google Docs. That could have been anything Google. That could have been so many different things in whatever.
Maybe
you just
I just
ruined
know
it.
you too well.
Why didn't you just play along? Gosh. This making it so bad.
I listened to a podcast on them just the other day too. Man, it's amazing. Did you know that they were going to be purchased by Adobe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they said no. Or maybe it wasn't they said no. I don't remember the circumstances.
Pretty sure it was the SEC or the FTC that got involved.
You're right. It
was antitrust stuff.
Yes. Yeah, you're completely right. That's what it was. And good thing they did, because now a few years later, I don't know, four years later,
IPO'd.
Man, way bigger than they ever would have been had 100%. They have gone with Adobe.
100%. Yeah, big time for Figma. They rocked it. They killed it. So cool to see.
If I was one of those investors that was investing in that company and got out when they IPO'd, that's why you do venture capital sometimes, Cameron. That's why they do it, because man, they made a heck ton of money.
They did They made a frick ton of money, dude. Well, and it's a great example. I wanted to do it today because it's a crazy example of how a perfectly differentiated up-and-comer can completely unseat a market incumbent. Total dark horse story. Because did you know? Hang on. Who do you think we're comparing them to?
Are we comparing them to Adobe?
We are. So Adobe had a UX UI design product called Adobe XD. Have you heard of them before?
No.
Yeah. So that was forever. That was the design, cream of the crop, was everyone that was designing an app with well, I guess not. They had other alternatives like Google Sketch or something like that. But XD, because Adobe was all of the creative software. If you were designing an app, you would do it in XD. And guess what? Last year, Adobe announced that they are phasing out Adobe XD. They're no longer going to be servicing it. How crazy is that?
Okay, so can you explain to me what the difference is? So I'm not a design guy. You live in this area, right? So this
you do too now, actually.
I do a little bit. Right?
Designer.
I'm up and coming a little bit, but to be honest, I don't know. I know Adobe was a big thing. There are other Adobe products, but what is the difference between you say Adobe XD as an app designer? Mm-hmm. So is that what Figma's space is? Or I don't really understand. I can see the differences between Adobe and Figma, but people still use both. So can you kind of describe what Figma is versus like what Figma is in general.
Yeah, so I mean, we can talk initial market positioning, and then we can talk kind of where they've landed and where I think they're going. So
Okay.
Adobe has lots of different products that, like, you know, you can edit video in Premiere. You have Illustrator with like vector design. You have Photoshop for photo manipulation. You've got like Adobe fonts. You've got like all of these different. Like You've got After Effects for visual effects and motion design.
So is Figma exactly what Adobe XD was, but more usable?
Yeah. So we're not comparing Figma to Adobe in its entirety. It's a specific, primarily like graphic design stuff. But initially it was just UX UI design. Initially, they came on, and it was, I think the use case was app development, web development, designing interfaces and stuff like that, because that's what Adobe XD was doing. Like when I worked at Young Living, that's what we were designing like new websites in, was Adobe XD. And so that was the initial positioning in the market was, hey, this is for UX UI design, this is for interface stuff, this is for front end, you know, mock-ups for apps and websites and all that stuff. So they were a direct they were trying to compete directly with Adobe XD.
Got it.
But the crazy thing, we can just jump right in. And this is going to be a little bit of a weird of an episode, because since Adobe's phasing out XD, like there's not a website, like there's not a whole bunch of stuff we can look at for XD. So it's a lot of going to be like, hey, this is past tense. So, but we can't take a look at Figma's website, what they're doing now. But the main thing that the differentiated factor that Figma had coming into the market was they solved real-time collaboration on UX UI design. And because the big problem was that you would have like big teams, like huge enterprise teams, like worrying about e-com websites for multi-billion-dollar companies, worrying about app design for like huge apps on the App Store. And so there's a lot of different hands doing a lot of different things in the same project on the same app. But collaboration was a nightmare, because unlike Google Docs or anything in the Google Suite, really, like you couldn't go in and work simultaneously with your coworkers on the same project file on the same project. And so that just created a whole bunch of nightmares, like file management, like how do you keep your files up to date? So when I make an adjustment, I have to actually attach an XD file to you and send it, but then you make your changes. So like how do you keep track of file changes and updates and who's got what file? And so that was a whole nightmare. And Figma came in and was like, we're going to solve that. And so they made a browser-based design tool where, just like Google Docs, everyone could come in, be in the file at the exact same time, make changes. Everyone could be making changes at the same time and work on one project together without any hiccups. No file sharing, no governance, just all real-time updates, real-time saving. And that's how they came into the market, was they were solving a really specific problem, and they had a really unique, differentiated feature set because of that.
Does that work with other things? Like, could you do that with Premiere?
Yes. And there are some tools that do that. So there's something called Frame.io that Adobe bought that allows you to see drafts, and you could send drafts back and forth. But in terms of collaborative timeline for video editing, I don't think that exists at the moment. No, at least not in Adobe.
Way too much computing power for the browser.
Yeah, at that point you have to do with footage. So you'd have to have some kind of access to a mainframe or some type of remote storage server where you keep all your. So it gets kind of tricky and dicey when you start adding video into things, but that was the main deal. That was how they entered the market, was collaborative, real-time UX UI design. How cool is that?
That is really cool. That's interesting, and I'm sure that like Adobe knew it was a problem and was trying to fix it, right?
I mean, you'd hope so. Gosh, you really would hope so.
I could be wrong, but it feels like they know that that's an issue, and yeah, you feel like there's got to be a way that they could have done it. So good for Figma for jumping on the horse before they did.
Yep, 100%. Super, super cool. So that's how they entered. Now, I think they are indeed going after some of Adobe's other products like Illustrator. Actually, that's the one product I think they're going after. I think they want to completely own the vector-based design, graphic design, UX, UI design market now. Because you can do pretty much you can do most of the major things in Figma that you can do in Illustrator by like graphic design, designing logos, patterns, marketing assets, so on and so forth. So you can, I think they're definitely trying to go after that market now as well, which is kind of cool to see.
Wow, that's really, really interesting. Can we take a look at their website?
Yeah, here we go. So this is what Figma.com currently looks like, and the H1. So if you go to Figma.com, this is what you'll see, and I mean, I don't know, does this pass muster for like rotating hero? You've got a whole bunch of different like squares for different designs and stuff, and you've got like this text window that is constantly cycling in and out new text. So for example, this one says make this design move with a parallax effect, and behind it's showing that feature, which is kind of cool, I suppose. And then the next one says make these photos rotate in 3D, and it's showing that behind it. So it's showing off features is what this is doing.
Yeah, I don't love it.
No.
First, I'm like, it's too much for me on a main page. I'm like trying to look at too many things, too much moving at the same time.
Yep.
But what does the subtext say? Because that's the one thing that's not moving.
Yeah, the H2 below says Figma lets you turn big ideas into real products, brainstorm design, and build with your team. So
I think it's not that great.
No, it's not a clear. I mean, kind of. Turn big ideas into real products. I don't know what that means. Like, are you formulating products? Are you like, how are you building? What do you mean by real products? Brainstorm design and build with your team. It could just be a little clearer. Little clearer. And I don't think that this adds their differentiated value at all in there. So messaging probably needs a little bit of help. But if you scroll down, the H3 says prompt, code, and design from first idea to final product. So they're trying to do this whole soup to nuts thing.
Cameron, why are they so bad? Here's what I don't get, right? This is a differentiated product. Mm-hmm. Like, this is very different. So it should be so easy to be clear about what that is, right?
Yeah.
Like, it can be really difficult to get two companies that are very similar and message it differently. Like, it's hard, and you kind of got to play with things a little bit and maybe change your product a bit too to become more differentiated.
Right.
But when you're already so differentiated, shouldn't this just be an easy win?
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, I don't know. Well, here, okay, tell me what you think. They're now the big fish in the pond. Like, do you think they...
So?
We've talked about this before. Do you think they even care?
No, they probably don't, but isn't it an easy win? Like... It should be so easy. Like Starlink, right? Like, they did a fantastic job. Like, we're different. This is easy. Like, boom, right on their main webpage. I mean, they could have been a little bit better. We're perfectionists over here. But really, they did a very good job.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, come on. Like, this is so easy, Figma. Like, all in one place. Like, let's team collaboration. I don't know. They could even play the anti-hero to Figma, to Adobe. Like, tired of Adobe. Like, people. I don't know. There's so many ways they could go about it.
I think I'd love to do like the Wayback Machine and figure out what their website was circa 2015 or something. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Because it would be cool to see, have them position themselves as like the Adobe XD alternative, like the real-time collaborative alternative to Adobe XD for UX UI. Yeah, like that's super
so
clear.
Much better, right? Yeah.
And it's differentiated for sure. Okay, but
Like, stop with all this feature stuff. I hate features. Like, who cares? I don't know. It's whatever.
I just wish that they would just say what it is. Just clearly say what it is, and try and put your differentiated value in there somewhere. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Let's see. Bring everyone together with systems that scale. Okay, so like they're kind of getting there. Bring everyone together, systems that scale. They're just unclear.
Yeah, that's better.
Ship products any way you want. Okay, but they're all just going by features. What is the appeal of doing these, just leading with features? Do you think that's useful?
No.
Like if you were shopping around, like, and you landed on this website, like, would you be excited by all of the things that you could see you could do?
Nope, not even a little bit. Honestly, for a website company that like prides itself on like helping other people build a website, this is really bad.
Well, they're not just website. It's usually it's like app design.
It's all of it. But still, like they do a lot of website stuff.
What is it? Why do you think? What is it? What are the internal dynamics, do you think, that keep a company like Figma from actually like communicating its differentiated value? Like why is that so hard, do you think?
It's the CEO or whatever that just says like, hey, this is like a new feature. Let's put it on our front page. Like, let's show people about our new features. I totally get it. Like, it's coming from up top. I just think that they get bored of saying what they do over and over and over again. And I think it creates it creates confusion. And I'm sure some people come on here and they're like, oh, wow, that's really cool, because they already know what Figma does. But I didn't know what Figma was until probably 4 months ago. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not that, it's like, it's still new. Like, people are still learning about Figma. If I come to Figma's main page, I want to know what they do and how they can help me really quickly.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Is it okay? So it's clearly a strategy to lead features first like this without really any core brand messaging. You don't think it's a winning strategy? You don't think that it's something that you could do? How come? Like, why do we not think that that's a winning strategy?
Like I just said, like, I didn't know what it was until a little while ago, right? Like, I had no idea what Figma did. So if I'm looking for a solution, I'll probably end up finding it by talking to people about what they do. And that's probably what they rely on, is probably. Like, hey, if you're a designer, you probably know what Figma is. I'm not a designer, so I have no idea.
Yeah, not target market.
But like, this is also a really useful tool for small business owners that don't have a lot of design experience. Figma, like, starting to use it myself is really easy to use. Like, it's very user friendly. And so like a small business owner, even if they have no design experience, can still hop onto Figma and like make some decent stuff. And so it feels like you are forgetting about, like, it feels like you're confusing that, like, different segments of your market. So explain what you do really well, explain that differentiated factor, and be a little more clear.
I agree. I do think that you're right when you say that they just get bored of saying the same thing over and over again. Like, marketing creative types are always trying to like reinvent the wheel, and they're always trying to like make things in their own image. Everyone's trying to like have the next big Grand Slam campaign, and they have like this beautiful vision of what it is that the product is and how they can articulate it, and it's always new. And and that's, you can't do that. Like, you have to say the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, because you have to educate the market on what it is you do. And so it's
until
almost
you have the whole market.
Until you have the whole market, and I guess you can do whatever the frick you want.
Sure, I guess.
But it sounds like that's what they have at the moment. Yeah, I think the mark of a good CMO is just is instilling discipline across your whole team. Yeah. There's one thing you say. Stop trying to get pretty with it. Stop trying to get cute with it. Stop trying to say it in your own beautiful way. Like if we were the CMO of some company, or if I were the CMO of some company, I'd be like, I don't care what your personal expression is of the product. Like, I don't care. Like, write some fanfic and post it on Reddit. about what you think this is. But when you're like communicating on company channels, there's one thing you say.
Yeah.
And don't color outside the lines. I know that's a hot take. I know there are probably a lot of people that would totally disagree with me, but I think you're right. You have to say the same thing.
And there's a spot for it on the website, right? They have a features page, right? Mm-hmm. You know, so that banner should go there, right? That banner should go on their features because it's a new feature, right? So it doesn't mean that your marketing people can't continue to like show off their skills and be creative with the product, but just put it in the right places. Like be organized about it, because if not, you confuse your audience. So, I mean, and here's another question that I wanted to ask is, does Figma have like different, like, does that feature cost more, or is Figma just like one price and then per user you increase the price?
That.
Okay, so
then they pay per seat. They pay per seat. So however many people you have.
Yeah, so you pay per seat. The features don't increase. Like, it's not like a premium product that they're showing on their main page. Nope. So it's like, that seems even sillier, because no matter what, like, they're already paying for your product. Right? So, like, the more features only increases the amount of time they spend on your stuff. So that seems really silly.
Agreed. Well, Adobe XD is dead. Long live Figma. Figma unseated the giant by being differentiated. So I would give him a 5 out of 5 on differentiation, but I'd give him probably a 2 on clarity. Yeah,
that sounds because they did have some clarity down below. Mm-hmm. They had some more like, oh, here's what Figma is. I would like to see it a lot higher, but even below it wasn't super clear about what made them different and what they even did. Honestly, on that main website, I'd probably give them a 1. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I like, even looking at that website, I don't understand what they do. There wasn't anything about web design or app design. It just feels, it was like product based, like, you know, create your product. It just was super, super unclear.
We didn't even check their Instagram page to see if they're consistent. So this is Figma's Instagram page, and their bio says design is everyone's business. Oh, that's dumb. That's stupid, because that's cute and clever, and that's so unclear. Gosh, that's so stupid. Are they trying
to say it's like everyone's, like, we're working together on this, and that's why it's everyone's business? Is that what they're saying?
I mean, the fact that you have to ask tells me it's stupid. The fact that you even had to, like, question what the freak they're trying to say tells me that it's piss poor marketing copy. It's just cute and clever. Dude, hey, can we talk about this? We passed judgment. Figma clearly won. They're clearly differentiated. Good for Figma. It's really great. Why do you think everyone feels the need, and by everyone I mean, why do you think all marketing creatives feel the need to be cute, clever, and gimmicky about things? What is it about that class of people, that group in a marketing organization or in a business, that just feels the need to just be really cute and clever all the time? What is it? Why do you think that's appealing?
That's who they are, Cameron. That is literally ingrained in their bones. They are designers, right? That's what they enjoy doing. But and it doesn't mean you have to get rid of your creative juices. Just you got to still be clear and use it in the right spots. So, yeah, that's really frustrating, honestly. Okay. I was really hopeful for Figma.
Okay, did you ever see that old movie Master and Commander?
Nope.
Okay, well, it's about like this British ship during the Napoleonic Wars, anyways. But it's like Navy rigor, it's Navy discipline, you know. They're like running a tight ship. Everyone has a job to do. Everyone's doing their job when they're supposed to do it, you know. And this guy has this line. The captain of the ship, you know, played by Russell Crowe, has this line. He's having this argument with his best friend, and he like screams at his best friend. He says, "Men must be governed." And I think creatives must be governed. I think that's the CMO's job. Creatives must be governed. You have to instill discipline. You can't just say everything. You can't do whatever the frick you want. You can't be clever. You have to say the same thing over and over again and be creative inside those bounds. That's true marketing. That's true discipline.
I completely agree. And we tell this to our clients all the time. Like, some people get a little bit frustrated when we create a message playbook, right? Because they're like, oh, wow, like this is so restrictive now. Like, if everything has to go through this framework, like, what can I actually say? Like, can I have any creativity here? But we always tell them, like, that's when it gets more creative, right? When you, and one of the things I really like is, I love Brandon Sanderson. His books are amazing. And one of the things he always says is, like, it's the rules that make it fun, right? It's the boundaries. Once you have rules and boundaries, then you actually have to think harder about, oh, I can't just make the main character fly and, you know, it's like the story ends because he's just so amazing. Like, if there's no rules, if there's no boundaries, then the book is boring.
Right.
Then your marketing is boring, actually.
Agreed.
Once you have those rules, then it becomes, oh, how can I use these to increase the, like, how can I use these within these bounds, be creative? And that's really where you start to actually find that creative juices. So it takes more time. It's harder. It's more difficult, but the end product is better. And I would say that the three things that are the most important, and you can create them in your own brands, are the three things we talk about: is being consistent across channels. You've got to be clear and you've got to be different, right? So once you have those three things, once you put them into a message playbook, then you'll be on track. And if you guys need help with that, we'd love to help you at Protagonist. Hop onto our website, protagonistcomms.co, and we will take you through a message playbook. We'll audit, see if you're different than your competitors. We'll do the whole 9 yards. And thanks for joining us today.